As you have found, our hearings are more about listening to ourselves than listening to our witnesses, and I promise to continue that tradition myself. So my question to you both is this. Is there any reasonable expectation for long-term viability of a peaceful, democratic Iraq as long as the current regime rules in Iran and the conditions in Syria and Saudi Arabia remain the same? And Mr. Ambassador, I would just ask you to maybe make a political observation in general of just some military and security implications of the border states in the region for Iraq.
I think it can. Iran has been a malign actor in Iraq, but even with the worst of intentions, there are limits on what Iran can do. So Iran's influence has its limits, and popular tolerance for Iran has its limits, particularly when Iran overreaches. There are limits to Iran's hostility or ability to turn its hostility into deeply destabilizing action.
With respect to Iran, we have learned a great deal more about Iranian activities in Iraq since the capture some months back of the head of the so-called special groups that are associated with Sadr's militia. These are individuals who have been trained, equipped, armed, and funded by Iran. And along with that individual, we captured the deputy commander of Lebanese Hezbollah Department 2800, which we had not been aware of, but it turns out to be an organization that has been created to support Iran's activities with respect to the special groups and some of the other militia extremists in Iraq. Again, that makes the situation vastly more difficult for Iraq, obviously, than it otherwise would be.